कोकाटे सर. सरगर सर जॉईन झाले का? झालेत ना.
लोंढे सर. लोंढे सर.
हाँ सर.
हा, आता आपण सुरू करू. एक मिनिट.
कुलगुरू मॅडम
सूचना फक्त द्या. जे बोलत नाही त्यांना माईक ऑफ करायला सांगा. व्हिडिओ आणि माईक. मॅडम जॉईन झालेले आहेत. सरगर सर जॉईन झालेले आहेत.
हो हो हो. 4:29 झाले. सुरू झाले.
1 मिनिटात सुरू करू. फक्त एक सूचना द्या त्यांना. माईक आणि व्हिडिओ.
हॅलो मॅडम.
All the participants are requested to mute their mics while speakers and the dignitaries who are present here, they deliver their talk, they speak here. So you are requested to turn off your mics.
Okay, sir. Fine, sir. Yes, sir.
Mane sir. एक मिनिट सर, ते रेकॉर्डिंग चालू करण्यात म्हणून थांबतोय.
सुरू केलंय रेकॉर्डिंग. सचिन सर रेकॉर्डिंग सुरू केलेलं आहे.
स्टार्ट आहे. रेकॉर्ड स्टार्ट.
Good evening all the participants, dignitaries, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Punyashlok Ahilyadevi Holkar Solapur University, Solapur, Honorable Dr. Mrunalini Fernandes ma'am. Today's keynote speaker, Dr. Shivaji Sargar. The speakers for this international conference, Professor Dr. Sunil Kumar Laute, Professor Dr. Vinod Gaikwad, Meghna Gaukar, Dr. Francois Toko. All the dignitaries, all the participants are welcome on this intellectual and great occasion, which is organized by VITTHALRAO Shinde Arts College, TEMBHURNI, in collaboration with Solapur English Teachers Organization, that is SETO. The conference, that is one-day interdisciplinary international online conference on enriching language, literature, culture, and studies. On behalf of VITTHALRAO Shinde Arts College, TEMBHURNI, the management, principal, IQSC, Department of English, Marathi, Hindi, and SETO, on behalf of all these departments and the college, all the dignitaries, all the participants who are present over here for this intellectual activity. In the beginning, as I mentioned, on behalf of the college, on behalf of the Sanstha, I welcome you. Now I request the convener and the organizer of this conference, Dr. N.D. Kokate, to make welcome and introduction speech. Over to you, Dr. Kokate.
Okay, thank you, sir. A very good evening to all of you, and also heartily welcome to one and all. On behalf of one-day interdisciplinary international online conference on enriching language, literature, culture, and translation studies, organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Department of English, Department of Marathi, Department of Hindi, VITTHALRAO Shinde Arts College, TEMBHURNI, in collaboration with Solapur English Teachers Organization, SETO, we again welcome to all of you. The inaugurator of this function, Honorable Dr. Mrunalini Fernandes ma'am, Vice Chancellor of Punyashlok Ahilyadevi Holkar Solapur University, Solapur. The keynote speaker of this conference, Honorable Dr. Shivaji Sargar, Professor and former Head, Department of English, University of Mumbai. President of this conference, Honorable Principal Dr. Mahendra Kadam. All the resource persons, delegates, members of advisory committee, members of SETO, members of organizing and management committee, all professors, research scholars, students, teaching and non-teaching staff of my college, and my dear friends. At the outset, it gives us an immense pleasure to say that now we have 215 research papers, which we are going to publish those papers in UGCK listed journal entitled as Akshar Wangmay. Then I would like to mention here that we have near about 725 registrations from each and every corner of the world. Then regarding the concept note of this conference, the main theme of this international conference is enriching language, literature, culture, and translation studies. The prime intention behind this conference is to discuss 4 parameters with an interdisciplinary approach. You all know that the impact of literature in modern society is undeniable. Literature acts as a form of expression for each individual author. Literature confirms the real complexity of human conflict. Literature is a reflection of humanity and a way for us to understand each other. By listening the voice of another person, we can begin to figure out how that individual thinks. With this motto, we have organized this international conference for having academic deliberations on language, literature, culture, and translation studies to reinforce academic collaborations among researchers, students, and teachers. My dear friends, we have trilingual formula of this conference. Our discussions will be in English language, Hindi language, and also our mother tongue, that is Marathi language. We have conducted 4 invited talks of resource persons on the concerned topics. We have Dr. Shivaji Sargar, with the professor and head, former head of Department of English, University of Mumbai. Then another resource person is Professor Dr. Sunil Kumar Laute, who is the former principal of Mahavir College, Kolhapur. Then we have also great personality, who is Professor Dr. Vinod Gaikwad, who is the head Department of Marathi, Dean, Faculty of Arts, Rani Chennamma University, Belgaum, Karnataka. We have also well-known film actress from South India, Honorable Meghna Gaukar. And also we have great and eminent personality, who is Dr. Francois Tocho, who is the professor and head, World Languages Education, University of Wisconsin-Madison, America. We think that definitely this conference will be fruitful to all the participants. Again, heartily I welcome to one and all. I request all of you enjoy this conference. Thus, I conclude my welcome and introductory address. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Londe sir, over to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Kokate sir, for the introductory note and introducing the themes of the conference. Now we will move ahead. As sir mentioned, today we have with us Dr. Mrunalini Fadnavis ma'am, Vice Chancellor, Punyashlok Ahilyadevi Holkar, Solapur University, Solapur, as a guest of honor. Now, may I request Vice Chancellor Madam to guide this August gathering. Over to you, Dr. Mrunalini ma'am, Vice Chancellor.
Yes.
Ahilyadevi Holkar, Solapur University, Solapur.
Thank you so much, Londe sir. I think I am audible to all. So, I would like to say that being a part of this international conference, enriching language, literature, culture, and translation studies, organized by VITTHALRAO SHINDE Arts College, TEMBHURNI, I'm really happy to announce that I inaugurate this international conference in a very enthusiastic way. Thank you so much. Now, coming to the topic, the principal, Dr. Mahindra Kadam sir, all the keynote speakers, all the participants, long list has been given by your authorities about the research papers, as well as those who have participated in this international conference. I welcome you on behalf of our university, that is Punyashlok Ahilyadevi Holkar University, Solapur. So let me tell you, the name of our university, Punyashloka Ahilyadevi Holkar, is also the part of the different type of literature and culture present over in the area of Solapur. That lady, in her period of 30 years of administration, she has worked a lot for culture and boosting the language and literature. The promotional activities done by Holkar is extremely very significant from the point of view of generating lot of literatures related to that period when Britishers and Muslims were the ruling authorities in the Indian scenario. When we got the independence, this literature came into contact with the help of various languages, and of course translation has also been done. On the basis of that, what type of things has happened in the period of when people were ruling, those who are outside India and those who are presently, means in 1947, that time, working for the development of the India. So language plays a very important role. Even the Solapur University from 2018, we have started 8 different languages. Why 8 languages? Because Solapur is a southern part of Maharashtra, and we are very close to different states like Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and other areas. So we can understand the people, those who are migrated or maybe migrating to these areas, they have different cultural groups, they have different language groups, and therefore they should feel happy that their language has been accepted as a part of postdoctoral course in our university. So I'm happy to share with you all that we have enriched the language, which is not only local, but also very, very close to the heart, that is their own mother tongue, like Tamil, Kannada, Pali, Prakrit. All these are very old languages which which are playing a very important role in the development of the students. The language also plays a very important role by stopping migration from one to another place. Earlier, when the education facilities were less, people who were moving to the different cities, those who are of a developed nature, and the area which is underdeveloped and the rural areas, they are not having this facility. But when opening of these type of courses or the deliberations, the students got so many facilities, and we have stopped the migration from rural to urban areas. I think that is the beauty of opening of the languages, because everyone wants to know, understand, and very comfortable in understanding in his or her language. So that is the part which is, I think, all will understand and will make a note that language plays a very important role for different issues which is related to the system, to that area, to the local area, to the global area, as well as to the different development paradigms. So therefore, the importance of language, nobody can say that without language we can study the, you can say, the science or the commerce. It is highly impossible. You should have a very enriching language. Similarly, the literature also plays a very important role. And this literature part, which is written by stalwarts of a particular area, maybe like our own language is Marathi, but at the international level, global level, many people, those who have written with the help of different languages, including English, that literature always enriches us from different angles to study how the development of the humanity, how the development of peace and different cultures must have taken place in that particular area. And therefore, we can able to understand, correlate, even think of various things which is happening on different part of the world. And we can say that all human beings are really attached to their local system, as well as they want to understand different parts of the international areas as well. So therefore, literature, whatever has been produced and will be produced, will play a very, very important role from the point of view of getting enhancement in different areas of our own development. As a teacher, because we are all from the teaching profession, we are in the higher education, our new education policy is bending more and more upon your own local language, as well as producing literature in such a way so that you can able to understand the importance of different society, humanity, culture, as well as the area which is may not be known to you very well. And therefore this type of work which has been taken care by this particular college in the form of international conference, I really happy and congratulate all the important personalities of this institution. The third part will come as a culture, which has been coined under this conference title. So culture is another area which we always say that because of this culture, I am staying like this. This is the message always we give. Because we have a different culture in India, our food habits are like this. Our dressing sense is like this. We talk like this. We have opportunity to interact with each other and adopt also various things, because the culture is the most important part which is enabling you to move to your own system and also telling others that this how it is important. It is very important part. Maybe culture is also being imbibed through various areas, like what is the atmosphere environment around your system. Maybe you are in a hot region, culture may be different. You are in a little cold region, the culture will be naturally different. If you are in some area where always raining is you can observe more, your culture and the system will be different. So that is the geographical background plays a very, very important role in the development of the culture. And on that basis, lot of literature has been prepared, languages has been formed, and various words which we may not be knowing from the different system, but because of that literature and language, the cultural richness moves with the literature and the language. So that culture plays a very important part. And we always say that we have a unique culture in India, though we have a multiple sort of languages, multiple sort of religions, but we are one. So that is also the culture we are moving ahead in India. And I think India is a unique country in the formation of a very good cultural system, as well as still giving the message that we are one, we are integrated, we have various internal values, which still we can able to translate, move towards such areas to understand various importance of the people living and their habits. Now I come to the last part, that is translation. And I myself feel very important about this, that whatever the literature has been produced in so many languages, maybe very difficult language like Sanskrit, and foreign language like Russian, European languages, we may not be knowing, but translation is a part where we can move to such areas where able to understand in our own language that what they must have done, what they must have thought about it, and wow, what is the need of the translation. So let me tell you, my students of my university are doing this job as a semester part. Like in one of the semester, they are taking such type of author, which is very difficult or very not easy to understand by the other people. But the person, those who are understanding two languages, like maybe Urdu and Hindi, or maybe like Tamil or Sanskrit, such type of combinations, and the translation of one very important part or one important book or maybe a monograph is giving the idea to other people, those who are going to read it, and they are submitting in the form of projects. So this type of projects are being very important because they are being translated, and the message, the gist has been given to many people, that see, in every language, in every culture, and every part of the world, the message is same. that we have to work for the humanity. We have to work for the betterment of the society. We have to work for the development of any economy. We have to work for such areas which has been neglected. Nobody should become a part of, say, not taking part in an integral way. So all should take or have an important views, or the relationship between all human beings should be very positive. And I think language can do all such things. Maybe you are good in mathematics, maybe you are good in science, maybe in one of the subject of science, but the power of language shows that you can translate, you can produce, you can give a more focus that exactly what you want to say. So the elasticity, or the you can say the part which has been given in different words, the power which has been given in different words of different languages, it has a flexibility to understand the researchers, to understand what you want to say. Even various level, even you must have seen for the Nobel laureates from Europe or from the Latin America or from any part of the world, they are producing in their own language, and that has been translated into the English language. So it is possible. So language cannot be a barrier. Literature can produce a lot and move you towards the positive thinking and the better thinking. And culture is to understand how we can integrate each other by understanding culture and adopting also to some extent. And the translation has a beauty, the studies which has a beauty, which is the combination of all these things which has been given in the proper words, that if we can able to translate, we can reach very near to that person. One very important person we know from a different part of the world, but we can't read his or her book because it is written in different language, but translation make that facility. We can feel that we are near to that writer, we are near to that thought, we are near to that personality. And that beauty is only possible when you can understand different languages. So I heartily congratulate all the stakeholders of this one day international online conference. And I hope whatever you have thought, you have planned for enriching people through different type of issues related to language, literature and all, I think that will come very true. And the powerful part of this particular conference, I should say, the student should understand the perfection in the language, or the right part deliberation through this language, any language, will become a very visionary personality. The person can become a very visionary and well known, and can able to give lot of inputs to the research and the writings, as well as many things which is related to this particular section. So thank you very much for calling me, and have a very good luck ahead for this day long conference. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
ma'am.
much, madam. Thank you very much. Conference. Punya Shloka has introduced great Devi Holkar and contribution to the language. She even highlighted the importance of language, literature, culture, and translation studies in academic world and in the society too. Again, I thank you, ma'am, for your presence and intellectual speech. Now, moving ahead, today we have with us keynote speaker, Dr. Shivaji Sargar. Before inviting him to deliver his talk, let me introduce him in brief. Dr. Shivaji Sargar, at present he is professor and former head, Department of English, University of Mumbai. He has more than 25 years of experience as a teacher for UG and PG classes. He served for 18 years as a head of the department in different colleges of Rayat Shikshan Sanstha. He is research guide for MPhil and PhD. Under his guidance, 9 students have completed PhD and 5 students have completed MPhil. He has published more than 60 articles in various journals. then 45 research articles in different conferences. To his credit, there are 12 books that are published by renowned publishers. He has completed 3 research projects. As we know that today he is also here as a resource person, and he has served as a resource person in many conferences, seminars, workshops. Then he also worked on many academic and administrative bodies of University of Mumbai and Rayat Shikshan Sanstha Satara. With this brief introduction, may I now call Professor Dr. Shivaji Sargar to deliver his speech. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Londe sir. Actually, I'm very happy to be the part of this conference for multiple reasons. But before I go to those reasons, let me say good afternoon to all of you. Dr. Mrunalini Fadnavis Madam, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Punyashlok Ahilya Devi Holkar, Solapur University, Solapur. And of course, she is also the guest of honor for today's international conference. We have 4 co-research persons with me. Dr. Sunil Kumar Laute sir, former principal, Mahavir College, Kolhapur. Dr. Vinod Gaikwad, head Department of Marathi, and he is also the Dean, Faculty of Arts, Rani Chennamma University, Belgaum. We have Dr. Francois Toshaw, Professor and Head, World Language Association, University of Wisconsin at Madison, USA, and young scholar and practicing actress from South India, Ms. Meghna Gaokar. Dear teacher participants and research scholars, I am actually very much honored to be the part of this e-conference organized by IQAC and 3 departments, Department of English, Marathi and Hindi of VITTHALRAO Shinde Arts College, TEMBHURNI. And they have collaborated with Solapur English Teachers Organization. Before I begin, let me put on record my sincere gratitude to Dr. M.S. Kadam, a principal of VITTHALRAO Shinde College, TEMBHURNI. And of course, he is one of the very well-known writers in Marathi language. His colleagues, particularly Dr. Netaji Kokate, who is IQAC coordinator and also heading the Department of English. Then we have Dr. B.V. Das, head of the Department of Marathi, Professor J.D. Mulani, heading the Department of Hindi. And of course, the president of Solapur English Teachers Organization, Dr. A.B. Kadam, and other faculty members of the college. I am sure all of you must have invested a lot of time and energy in organizing this webinar for inviting me to deliver this keynote address of this conference, which is on the topic enriching language, literature, culture, and translation studies. Friends, actually my job has been made very easy by Honorable Vice Chancellor Madam, because she has very beautifully spoken about all the 4 aspects of today's conference. Actually, as an inaugurator of the conference, she was expected to contribute, and she has really nicely contributed to the theme of this conference. So my job has become a little easier. Thank you very much, Madam, for enlightening the audience with your very thought-provoking address, covering all the 4 aspects of this particular conference. Now, as you, Madam has already spoken about these 4 different aspects of this e-conference, I would also like to go according to the plan which has been given to me by the inauguration guest, Dr. Mrunalini Fadnavis Madam. So the conference is about language, literature, culture, and translation studies. And now I am making this presentation as per these 4 parts. Each part will be dealing with the 4 aspects of the conference. So to begin with, the first is, of course, the language aspect. And I would like to touch upon some of the issues which are very closely related to the use of language in our day-to-day life, and perhaps most importantly, the language policies regarding the use of language that actually decide which language is given an upper hand by the policymakers and what are its repercussions. Of course, I will be discussing both positive as well as negative repercussions of language policy. But before getting into them, let me share with you the data that is prepared by the Census Authority of India, that is in 2011. As per this data, there are 447 languages that are spoken by the people in India, out of which almost 78% belong to the Indo-Aryan group of languages, and 19.64% people speak Dravidian language. That is 5 Dravidian languages, including Kannada, Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu. So these 4 languages belong to 19.64% people in India. They speak these 4 languages, who fall in the Dravidian family group of languages. When we compare this data with other countries of the world, it is found that India as a country stands at number 4 in the world with reference to the highest number of languages. At number 1, we have Papua New Guinea, where the number of languages spoken is 840. At number 2 in world is Indonesia with 710 languages, whereas Nigeria stands at number 3 with 524, and we are at number 4, as I said, with 447 languages. Hindi belongs to Indo-Aryan group and is spoken by almost 523 million people. It stands at number 3 in the world, followed by followed by 97 million Bengali speakers, and they are at world number 6. Marathi is spoken by 83 million people in India. Then there are Telugu speakers, Tamil speakers, Punjabi speakers. Punjabi, so far as Punjabi is concerned, it is at number 12 in the world. Sanskrit, our very important language in our country, which is spoken by around 24,821 people. Out of these 447 Indian languages, friends, the 8th schedule of Indian Constitution, it has acknowledged only 22 languages. So out of 447, there are only 22 languages which are in the 8th schedule of our Constitution. So when we think about linguistic diversity of India, there are more than 1,300 million people now, 1,300 million people using more than 1,000 languages or their dialects to communicate with each other. Vedic Sanskrit, the oldest Indo-Aryan language, has its history as back as 1500 BC. That is around 3,500, more than 3,500 years. And this language gave rise to Prakrit, meaning unrefined or common. Sometime around 500 BC, the scholars like Panini developed a literary language called Sanskrit, which means refined or purified, out of one of the Vedic dialects. The history of language evolution in our country further shows that towards the end of the first millennium AD, Prakrit became known as Apabhramsha, meaning corrupt or vulgar. And out of these Apabhramsha varieties of language, there evolved the modern Indian languages of the Indo-Aryan family, including all those Hindi, Bhojpuri, Marathi, and other Gujarati, other these languages, Punjabi. When India became politically independent from the British Raj, there were some 360 million people, and as per Article 343 of Indian Constitution, the government of India decided to choose Hindi as the official language, hoping that it would function as a language of communication, leading to the larger dream of national unity. However, the leaders, our leaders that time, they were very well aware of the fact that it won't be an easy task for them to force all Indians to accept Hindi as an official language. Therefore, they came up with a plan of introducing Hindi in such a manner that within a period of 15 years, so from 1948 to 1963, it will take the place of English language and become the official language of the country. But things didn't turn up as they were expected. Of course, due to multiple reasons. And one reason being to protect the interests, perhaps, of the English-speaking community in India. The same thing can be said about other similar policies that are employed by government. Like, for example, in recent years, the government has accorded the status of classical languages to 6 Indian languages.
सर्ग सर अनम्यूट युअर सेल्फ आपला माईक बंद झालेला आहे.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Actually, yeah. So these policies they show that the language policy or the use of language in our country, and when we study these policies, it comes to forefront that these policies are not policies, but they are just tricks of politics that are being employed by the government to protect the interests of some people over those of others. Let me give you few examples. And first of them is the issue of Bhojpuri language. Friends, as per 2011 census, there are 50 million, almost 50 million people, 5 crore people in India. They speak Bhojpuri language. And these people, they are constantly demanding to introduce Bhojpuri in the list of scheduled languages so that it can get some government assistance for the development and promotion and preservation of Bhojpuri language and culture. But the demands of these Bhojpuri speakers, they are falling on deaf ears. At the same time, there are many other languages which are spoken by less than 1 million people, but still those languages are included in the 8th schedule, as well as some of them are also listed among the list of classical languages. Let us take one example of, as I said, Sanskrit is one of the most important languages in the world. So let us take the example of Sanskrit. So this language is both in the list of the scheduled languages, and it is also in the list of classical languages. Though the number of speakers of Sanskrit is very less, that is less than 25,000. But if we look closely into the list of these classical languages, it is seen that this list came into existence in 2004 with Tamil language, and then the very next year, that is in 2005, Sanskrit was added into that list. Then in 2008, 2 more languages from South India, Kannada and Telugu, these 2 languages were added to this list. Then in 2013, 1 more language, that is Malayalam from Kerala, it came into that list. And in 2014, Odia, it became the 6th language in the list of classical languages. Of course, we Marathi speakers are also demanding to include Marathi in the list of classical languages, but still we have not got any positive response from the government. And all these classical languages, let me tell you, they are listed. They are classical languages as well as scheduled languages. Now, I have a question, and that question is why these lists or these policies of listing some language